Joining us now, North Carolina Congressman Mark Meadows, Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, both members of, thankfully, the one group in Congress that keeps their promises, stands on their principles, the Freedom Caucus. Congressman Meadows, let me begin with you. First, let's talk about the meaning of getting Baghdadi, but more importantly, there are even Republicans critical of the president's policy in Syria, but it was this president that took away the rules of engagement and beat the caliphate completely in Syria. Now they got its leader, the leader of ISIS.
Well, it was a good day for America. It was a good day for the free world, and it was certainly a great day for the president and his decisiveness on taking out not just the #1 guy, but the #1 and #2 guy in terms of terrorist activities in Syria. You can criticize the president for his Syria policy, but let me just tell you, it looks pretty good on Monday after the weekend in terms of not only are we protecting the oil fields, but we're going after terrorists. And, you know, those pictures you showed earlier about the beheadings and all the things, we can remember that. That was in our living rooms, and yet it has not been a common occurrence since this president has been in office. So I just want to thank the president for his decisiveness.
Yeah, and Matt Gaetz, then we go to the witch hunt. I've read on this program again and again, Politico, they confirmed, in fact, there was election interference in 2016 by Ukraine. For 3 years now, we've heard about the dangers of foreign interference in our elections. Here we have a country admitting it. And you got a vice president at the time bragging about leveraging our tax money to get a Ukrainian prosecutor fired who we found out was paying his own son millions with no experience in Ukraine, oil, energy, or gas. Why on earth would they be paying Hunter Biden all that money with zero experience? I bet you'd like to get paid that money for knowing nothing.
Well, I hope I know a little more than nothing, but I would say that, you know, Hunter Biden is not exactly the kind of guy you expect to go and resolve international disputes. According to reporting by The New Yorker, he hasn't even resolved his own dispute with Hertz rental car for leaving a crack pipe in a crashed vehicle.
Oh,
so not exactly an international man of mystery. But I think what you see, Sean, is that Donald Trump is innocent and the deep state is guilty. And when you've got Mr. Durham out there with an investigation that transitioned from an administrative review to a criminal investigation, that is a hat tip that there was some catalyzing event that caused the Attorney General and Mr. Durham to seek the ability to have that criminal process at their disposal. I also think Durham probably frightens the deep state a lot more than even the FISA review, because the Durham investigation is the investigation that goes deepest into the Obama White House. And so that's where I think you'll see people like Clapper and Brennan implicated.
And you're seeing they're all trying to get out ahead of this story. We saw it with Comey, but you're right, because you can't have, as Andy McCarthy says, a counterintelligence investigation without the president knowing. That president would be Obama. I want to know what he knew and when he knew it. Let me ask you this, Congressman Meadows. We've got the IG report coming out. On the heels of that, we're going to get the Durham report. What are you expecting Americans are going to hear, and how shocked will they be at their findings?
Well, I think the findings will be breathtaking. I can tell you that many of the allegations that the president has made over the last 3 years in the genesis of this whole investigator process will actually provide fruit where the American people will start to say, not only was the president's campaign spied upon, but then there was a covert operation to try to cover all this up. Now, you mentioned one thing earlier, Sean, and that was about Ukraine, and you talked about a Politico article. But we've got even better evidence than that. We have congressional transcripts of Nellie Orr, which indicated that the only connection to some of her sources was Lushenko from the Ukraine. And so if Adam Schiff wants to get to the bottom of this, let me just tell you, the president is innocent. I've been in now 8 witnesses, 60 hours. The president is innocent. We need to shut this down, but we do need to investigate the origins. And there is a Ukraine problem, and it's a Ukraine problem with the Democrats.
And the president was asking to get to the bottom of the interference that all these people told us we need to care about for 3 years. Last word, Matt Gaetz, you got about 20 seconds.
The strongest evidence to me that Ukraine was involved is from a court in the Ukraine. A court in the Ukraine found that there were improper actions by the Ukraine to get involved in the U.S. elections.
A court in
and
Ukraine
improper.
determined that election interference took place in their country against our elections. Correct. Checkmate. This is going to get interesting. Buckle up. Every Republican better vote no on Thursday. We're watching.